Guru Maharaj is inaugurating Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat on the Rath Yatra day, discussing beginnings and how he selected that day. Because he was in Navadvip for 1 year, 1941. So it was on the Rath Yatra day of 1942 that he, as he entered the hut, put the flagpole, and perhaps composed the pranam mantram and these sort of things. So what I'm reminded of is Srila Guru Maharaj reminding me once, Mahajano yena kata sapanta, to always follow the path of the Mahajans. This word path is interesting. Implies they've already made a way. Right? Those who've ever explored forest and woods, no, you find a path that someone made. That's usually the best way to proceed. So that's what they say. Mahajano yenakata sapanta. The great devotees, they've created different paths that can be followed successfully. And that takes us beyond personal calculation, the calculative world, to the faithful plane. And as Srila Guru Maharaj pointed out, with regard to Srila Saraswati Thakur, we hear about his expertise as a Jyotishi, also mathematician. Surya Siddhanta can make perfectly all astrological calculations, but he would notice that Bhaktivinoda Thakur followed the calendar of P.N. Bakshi, and sometimes there's a difference. So just for the sake of argument, we can say the calculation of Saraswati Thakur is perfect. We can easily assume that. But he finds, when he sees a difference, rather than asserting his own calculation, which he knows is perfect, he's deferring to the calendar followed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur out of deference to his guru. He does not want ego assertion to pit him against the guru. So this is a higher truth. The devotional consideration is a higher truth than what we might calculate. Even in the beginning of Gita, we could say, Arjuna is making so many calculations based upon his own personal observations of things. But then the critical moment comes when he says, Sishas teham sarimam tvam prapana jivanamritam. Prapadya, Sharanagati. He surrenders to Krishna. And this is the critical point there, and it's also the critical point in the lives of aspiring servitors. The transfer of autonomy, which makes Western people in particular nervous and full of anxiety, because they live in a world where Darwinian evolution rules, it's survival of the fittest. People are trying to eliminate one another. They do not have your real interest at heart. They're trying to exploit you in one way or another. So you have to be constantly suspicious, looking over your shoulder, right? Having someone cover your back. So many things are there because, and from the Bhagavatam also we hear, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. In this world, one living being thrives, lives at the expense of another. That's what is being told. That's the rule here. So it's the world of exploitation. But to approach the world of the land of dedication, where one living being thrives by serving another, seva mayoyam loka, we'll have to reconsider, reconceptualize things. And here we find that curiosity, the desire to know, that knowledge, in the words of Guru Maharaj, knowledge is poison. Right? The plane we aspire to is jnana shunya bhakti. Right? So that Putana, by their thinking, we must be pious people, that when Putana fell, she didn't crush Krishna. She fell in the direction where he then softly landed on her breast. We must have done something right in the past. We're very fortunate people. To evolve to that level of internal sweetness is not an intellectual exercise, right? As given by Brahma, Jnane prayasamudapasana eva, give up trying to know him. Right? That curiosity that leads to a spirit of interrogation, where we're interrogating the Absolute, interrogating the infinite in the court of the finite. How is this possible? Where were you on the Brahmaratri? So, Shraddhan Vito Nushanaya Dattabarna Yedya. The culture of faith. Why did Saraswati Thakur, out of deference to the Vaishnava principles, etiquette, not to initiate, father not to initiate the son. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent Srila Saraswati Thakur to Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Right? And everyone, we should preface these remarks with saying, everyone is interested in capturing Saraswati Thakur as a disciple. This will enhance their prestige. Such a great scholar, unparalleled in his scholarly abilities and intellectual, all of these things. And he's sent to Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who, upon hearing his request, he said, I shall have to ask Mahaprabhu. Then Saraswati Thakur goes, comes back a fortnight later, Babaji Maharaj, oh, I forgot to ask. And Saraswati Thakur said, I knew everyone was eager to have me as a disciple. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Abhadut Maharaj ki Jai. He said, I knew everyone was so eager to get me. Yes, the garland, mala. Jai. Kaviraj Goswami says, Trinadapi suni chena torodapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Wear this like a garland around your neck. Gurudev sat beneath that sloka for years on end, and every day, at least once a day, he quoted that sloka, you could say. And when I said to him, naively, a little not carefully thought. I said, "Oh, Maharaj, when did you realize this?" He looked at me. He said, "Out of desperation." He said, "I already tried everything else. It's the only thing that works. Humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, not expecting. It's the key." Sometimes Guru Maharaj says the open secret. And by no better example than Srila Avadut Maharaj of giving position to others, you go up. Try to keep someone down, you go down. But if you give amanina amana dena. So that's what Saraswati Thakur is observing, and he's thinking, he knows what he is, objectively speaking. I'm this big scholar. Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, we're sometimes told, was functionally illiterate, meaning he couldn't write his name. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was sending the big scholar to the functionally illiterate Vaishnav Babaji for Diksha. What is it to show? Right? So when Saraswati Thakur sent one of his representatives to the West, in the words of Srila Guru Maharaj, he came back half converted. And when the arrival party, they were traveling by boat, arrival party in Bombay, Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada there, Srila Guru Maharaj there, and others. When he arrived back, and they see absent the dress of the Vaishnava sannyasi. In response to the questions, he said, they ask questions that cannot be answered. Right? And Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada said, what are those questions? And Srila Guru Maharaj answered them one by one. And that's when Prabhupada said, today Europe has been defeated by Asia. So he, yeah.
Can we project an idea what could be those questions are?
No, I don't know, and I don't want to guess. But whenever you make an intellectual approach to divine substance, that can be the end result. It could be anything, is the point. All Krishna consciousness, beginning, middle, and end, is the culture of faith. So that's why Brahma, he also had questions that could not be answered. How can a 5-year-old cowherd boy sitting there, Nomijate Brahmapuse Taridam Varaya Gunjavatangsa Peripich Jalasan Mukaya Vanya Srijay Sujay Kavalavetra Vishanavenu Lakshmashmiye Mridupade Pashupankajaya. Saying his 5-year-old boy, he doesn't have 4 arms like Vishnu. He's not carrying a giant scepter with jewels. He has a stick in his hand and a flute stuffed in his belt and food in his left hand, and he's eating with his friends on the banks of the Jamuna. So he has questions. He can like, how can that be God? I know Narayan, he looks like God. 4 arms, lot of Aishwarja. That sounds, seems to be God. This is all these grown adults bowing down to a little boy with his stick. You've seen the sticks. It's that kind of stick. We see them, they still do it, the little cowherd boys in India. They have a little stick they tap the calves with for herding them. So he has a stick, flute in the belt, food in the palm, eating with his friends. So, Muhyanti Atsuraya, the Bhagavatam tells you in the beginning, gods are bewildered in trying to understand Krishna conception. Brahma Vimohan, Indra Mohan, Mohini Murti with Shiva. If we think we're going to know every last detail, then it's not Krishna conception. Right? Guru Saraswati Thakur, then why he is called Adhoksaja? Adha Aksaja. What are we talking? Aksaja, the eyes, the senses. Adha means when he decides to reveal something of himself to you, all your sense experience is pushed down so that can happen. It's suppressed. The inversion, meaning when you're in full-blown sense experience, what is Saraswati Thakur saying? Trying to, like vultures, looking for vulture food. The eyes want to devour something, the ears want to hear the sweet sound, the tongue wants to, like vultures. That's why Guru Maharaj said Saraswati Thakur did not advise taking Krishna Nam before a picture of Krishna, which we could say, oh, many, if not most devotees, they do something like that. Oh, but our Param Guru, or my Param Guru, he's saying not to do that. Why? Your eyes will turn that image of Krishna into vulture food. When the artist asks Krishna, is this what Krishna really, asked Prabhupada, is this what Krishna really looks like? And he said, not exactly, but you'll recognize him when you see him. Gopakumar, he recognizes Krishna when he sees him.